Okay, so I want to do a little bit of introduction to the MyMathLab system just so that you are able to find your way around that. So I'm in the main Blackboard shell, and then I'm going to click here on MyMathLab. This is where you'll do most of your homework and work in the course. So, and if it's working, oh good, you'll get a shell that looks like this, and maybe I'll turn on, there's this, use student home. So this is what, because my instructor view looks a little bit different from yours, this is what yours looks like, but otherwise these also, these things that I have for instructors won't be there for you, but this is what you should see. And so the main home page just kind of has a calendar, and you'll see, especially this right here, what to work on next is important in our class, and you'll see a few assignments, although I encourage you to click on this view all assignments, and then you'll see everything that's due for you, okay? And the first thing that you do need to do is especially if you haven't used MyMathLab before, you need to go through this quick how to use MyMathLab. It tells you how to enter answers and things like that. And I'll go through that real quick too. But I want to show you kind of a normal, and so these are like math questions that aren't really related to this course, but it's a quick 12, like how to enter fractions, questions like how to work with the graphs and things like that. Here is like the first homework that you have is section 1.1, and most of the time you'll have 2 homeworks and a quiz every week. This first week you have 3 homeworks because a lot of it is review. It's like linear functions and things like that. So I'm going to click here and just show you around. So this main homework page you'll see, and this is where you do almost all of your work in the course. Not all of it, but over here on the left you'll see these basics. These are all the videos in the class. So I have those in Blackboard as well, as I mentioned in another video. But these are the videos, and then these 7 questions you should be able to answer based on this video. Does that make sense? So I've tried to embed these so that you have a specific place to go for help if you have questions on what's happening in MyMathLab. So you'll see that. So after watching this first video, I'll show you, I'll bring it up. It kind of comes up in this weird screen, but you can pop it out if you want to. But it kind of comes up like this, and then you can close it, and then you can come in here and do the MyMathLab questions. So this first section is about what a function is. So some questions in MyMathLab here is whether or not, like, is this a function? And for example, let's see, it's not a function because sometimes 5 is having an output of 2, and 5 sometimes has an output of 4. So I'm going to say not a function. And I'll push final check, and it'll say good. And then it will let me go on to the next question. So you can go through them one by one. You can also come up here and click down, and you'll go back to kind of this homework overview, right? So you can click around. You don't have to do these in order, but you can see where you are. Let's get one. Let's say this graph, this is the graph of a function actually, so I'm going to answer it wrong so that you kind of see, and I'll push final check. Sorry, that's not correct. I can go on to the next question, or I can ask MyMathLab for a similar question. If I click similar question, I get another question, and I get to try it again for full credit. So you can, depending on how much time you have, can keep working on homework until you get them right. But you'll also see in the review now, I have a little red X next to that question because I got it wrong. You see that? Okay, so then I say, oh, this definitely does specify a function, and I'm, oh good, next question, right? So these are all similar. And I can also click forward. Some of these are open answer. So find and simplify this expression. F of x is x squared plus 3. So what is f of x minus 2? I think that's x squared. Let me think. Minus 4x plus 7, I think is what it is. I might have gotten that wrong. But so I can type that, and then that introductory one is helpful for you to type. Though also, if you look down here, down below, you'll see a whole palette of things. You can click on more to get more, but these are like if I want to enter fractions. This third one is if I want to enter exponents, right? Square roots, nth roots, things like that. More if you need to enter other sorts of things, although a lot of these we don't use in the class. So that's all available to you to, oh good, okay, to get help. The other thing that you might look, oh here, this has a, I guess this is assigned media. This must be the basics of functions that I have. Let's look. Yeah, so I guess under assigned media, you can come here to see my videos. There are other question helps over here that you can explore. So all of that is there. Is that okay? You can exit homework at any time. You should, oh, save. I'm going to push save. And then you'll see, and you can come back into homework and work on it at any point. So that's homework. If I'm in here and I want to get back, all of that is under homework and quizzes. Quizzes operate a little bit differently. All of the MyMathLab work you can do over and over again. So homework, you can go in, if you missed question 4, you just do question 4 again. For the quiz, it's all in one sitting. So if you missed a question on the quiz and you want to redo your quiz and try and get a higher score, that you have to retake the whole quiz. Does that make sense? So here's the Unit 1 quiz, and they are timed, but the time is very substantial, so 60 minutes. So I'm going to start this, and so it's like an hour to complete 10 questions. So it should not take you an hour to do this. So solve the equation right here, and I don't know what the answer is, but you come in here, and let's say I'm going to put that as my answer. And then I go forward, and I'll find the domain of this function, and let's say I think the domain is 16 to infinity, and you see this little infinity sign right there. And I go forward. So during the quiz, you're not being told question by question if you got it right or wrong. And then when you're ready, you can come up here and submit the quiz, and you can say, it will tell you you haven't done all the problems, like I haven't, but hopefully you will have. And then after you submit it, it will show you which ones you got right or wrong. I got these both wrong, and then you should have a little green check if you get them right. And then these are just ones that I didn't do. You can then go in and review the test. So it'll kind of show you what happened, so you can review and see the correct answers and all of that. Okay. There's some, I don't know what this calculus study card is. Honestly, a lot of these, oh, that's kind of like some notes, but I remember. And then if you go in your gradebook, you'll see all of your MyMathLab grades. Those don't get put into the Blackboard shell until the very end of the semester, so you do need to keep track of things that you are doing. The other thing that you might want to note is that if you're not completing assignments, sometimes your grade looks better than it is because you have incomplete assignments. Okay, so but I think this is a brief introduction to MyMathLab. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. So if you're ready to get started on the course, you should come in here and go to homework and quizzes and start how to use MyMathLab, then do section 1.1, 1.3, do this one, and then do this one. Is that okay? Let me know if you have questions.